Let's talk conspiracy theory, culture, and the human soul right now on Gen X News. All right, everybody. This is more like a round table. And this is Gen X News. Here I am. I am joined by Jer and Niish of the Obelisk. Also, Niish runs the Cosmic Salon podcast. It's an amazing show. You better check it out, guys. How are you guys doing today?
Fantastic. I'm
Good.
very happy to be here. It's always fun to hang out with you two.
Yeah, and it's a good time to we're in some kind of weird phase here. I feel like time is going by quickly. Time is speeding up, and it has nothing to do with how we're rotating around the planet. I feel like it has to do with the speed in which information and technology is traveling, and it's getting strange. I don't know if anybody agrees with me.
We've got deep woo and high strange happening for sure. Oh my
Definitely, there's been an energetic shift.
Phase here. I feel like time is going by quickly.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I was like,
Was that
like
actually
it's-
you, Jerry? Was that you, Jerry?
Yeah, I had pulled up the video and I.
Dude, brah, our in-house techie.
I clicked it, but I paused it immediately, but then I clicked it again.
So, okay, it's so bizarre, but before I get into how bizarre it is, everybody remember to subscribe to the podcast. You just go to genxonx.com and all the links are there. We are streaming live right now on YouTube, X, and Rumble. I tried TikTok and I might have said something about Israel, so they gave me a 7-day ban. And you can't do that anymore. You can't say anything. So I am waiting to get reapproved, and I don't think I'll be doing political stuff on TikTok. I think I'll keep it to my spooky history videos, and because I can't edit. You know how everybody goes, oh, they unalive them and it's RA or it's SA, and they use all these words so they don't get banned, and I just can't do that. I can't get down with it. It must be because I'm a Gen Xer. I don't know. I just say it.
I
don't know
don't
how you
like the
feel.
censorship either. I'm with you. And I think it's so rude, first of all. And it's definitely a sign of the times. Like when we know, especially Gen X and up, but even, the millennials, there was a time when we could just speak freely. We all knew that there were things you would get in trouble for, like as far as shunned by people in the world, but you could still speak it. You could still have hate speech. Free speech was still honored. And now we're just censored every which way. And we're under a deep firewall. And I don't think people realize that how severe the firewall is.
It is. And Mr. Elon Musk, freedom of speech guy, isn't so freedom of speech. Apparently, he's banned more people from X than Twitter version 1. Well, although I will admit some of those accounts could be bots.
I don't know anything about that. So do we know, is this really happening?
So what happened on X was Christmas Day, Elon, Mr. Autistic Elon, as he's claiming he is, he decided that he was going to promote these H-1B visas, and everybody spoke out against it. Laura Loomer did, because there's some issues with the H-1B visa. Trump had spoke out against it in 2016. And so all these people, including Groypers, who are pro-America First, young guys these days, they were speaking out against it. And then Elon went apeshit, started telling us to fuck our faces. And all this crazy stuff, saying that we're racist if we didn't want H-1B visas. And he just started banning all these Groypers and took away Laura Loomer's check mark and went nuts. And banned a whole bunch of people, and they're all conveniently people who are critical of Israel and the war they're doing and all that stuff. So it got pretty crazy, and he's actually banned a lot of people. And it's whenever he has a temper tantrum, the mask kind of slipped off and his little autistic temper tantrum came out. It was really, he did it on Christmas Day. It was bizarre.
All I can say is wow. And, that shows, I mean, I even hate to say hubris because I think he's a cyborg. I honestly don't think he's human anymore. So, but I mean, that does show, if that's true, I feel like that's an abuse of power, even though he does own the platform.
Right. And then after that, he went and changed the algorithm. And as of March, the updated terms are they can just get rid of you and ban you for whatever. They don't even have to have a reason now. So
That's
if
what
you
old
don't
school
play
Twitter
games,
was doing, and that's what it was doing before.
Well, it's back to there, and it's about different things now. Everybody's got their sacred cow, I guess, that you can't talk about. What is that noise?
That's Jerry's game.
Jerry, you got to turn that down, man.
I am.
Jerry, stay with us. Stay with us, Jerry.
Are you in the chat? Jerry's monitoring the chat. Did you think about that Elon stuff?
I don't know what to make of Elon. I take him at face value for the most part. As far as what's going on Twitter, I've seen more accounts come back than been removed. And the ones that have been removed have all been bots, as far as I can tell. Like I stopped getting 20, 30 crypto bot, requests for follows recently.
Right.
So
well, I'm quite active on X, and I was interacting with all the accounts that were banned, and it was a specific banning. It was like they're targeting people who do not support Israel in their war.
Did they say something that caused them to get banned, or was it
originally it was Laura Loomer, and she's a Zionist, which is crazy, and she was just criticizing the H-1B visas, saying that there's a whole bunch of problems with them, and they're not just for high-end workers, because they're not. People get here working at 7-Eleven on one. Yeah, and that there's a problem. And they were reversing all their stuff. They were reversing a lot of the things that they were saying before. And so it started out, it started out as that. And then the Groypers, who they're saying are Nazis, which they're not really. They're just America first. They want America to have this stuff and the American people to be taken care of first. Not immigrants, not other countries, not other borders. They want America first. And so he started to target them because, well, I mean, look, Elon is a World Economic Forum guy. Elon is for what do you call that? The carbon tax. He's also for universal income. I have pictures of him doing award ceremonies with the WEF. He's hired a CEO that's WEF. He's for a lot of globalist stuff. He has his own little worker city stuff. They want to put everybody in these little cities. Even Trump has his freedom cities that he wants to build now. Like it's going so crazy. So
when Trump introduced, so this was a red flag to me when the campaign started and all that. And he mentioned getting rid of some of our shabby cities and making freedom cities. So first, that hit me on two fronts. First of all, freedom cities to me sounds like another name for 15-minute city, and just his version of it. And then shabby little cities, and I'm thinking, with all the cute, charming old houses that I personally love that make these little cities charming. And like what's happening to a lot of places that once were charming, like Portland, Oregon, used to be just filled with gorgeous little cottages, and it had like it had charm to it. And slowly still has a lot of that, but slowly people boxing is happening. People housing, new smart buildings are going up. They're tearing down the cute little cottages and all this that gave the city its charm. It gave it patina. And so I knew what I was hearing there was was that. And that alarmed me. So right away, I didn't like that. But then there's a whole bunch of stuff I loved hearing. I love America First. I think
Mm-hmm.
that if wherever you are, no matter, I mean, you should, it's that whole thing in the, if the plane's going down, you put the oxygen on yourself first, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have been going downhill, and we know why. But the borders, the giving everyone else money and not taking care of our own people, these latest disasters are really great examples. Uh, Ukraine with however many billions they've got, and Israel, all the billions we give over there for everyone else's borders and welfare, and they're homeless. And then our taxes are insane. I can't even tell you. I bought something recently on eBay and had it shipped from the East Coast, and the tax was so crazy. It was $50 in effing tax.
That's
50
crazy.
to, I actually reached out to the seller and I said, did you add to the tax because I got the thing for such a good deal? I had to call them out. I'm like, I've never seen $50. It's a piece of jewelry. It's a little it's a little tiny piece of jewelry, and I couldn't understand this. And they, we went through it and it was legit. And so, stuff like that, how being taxed every which way. They're trying to tax our farts. They're for real taxing cow farts,
Yeah.
and all of this. So that's all like, fixing all that up. I'm so for all that. I'm so for get the borders cinched up. I've been complaining about the army they've been bringing in for years, and we see what they're bringing in. And then the Elon thing, Elion, I have not been a fan of his ever, and I thought it was great. I could understand why people were excited about Twitter, because
But
Twitter was
wasn't it weird when he suddenly went from Democrat to Trump supporter?
well, it was interesting. And the Twitter thing before him had turned terrible. I hated it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did like when he came in, but he showed his true colors really fast. And I just have never thought he was human. I do think he's experimenting on himself. I think he really is very cyborg like. He's got his own tech in him. And I'm leaving that at that. I don't think I think he's
Well,
actually cyborgish with whatever's going on. And then there was, I was pulling up to Robert Kennedy. I love Robert Kennedy. There's a couple things. You're never going to love everything. But I thought,
no, of
okay,
course not.
the vaccines and the poison food, Robert Kennedy's on this. And now all of a sudden we've got this crazy mRNA bullshit. Oh, sorry.
No, it's all good.
mRNA stuff that's going on that's terrifying. And there's a dark undertow going on, as Rosemary says in Rosemary's Baby. There's a chalky undertaste.
Isn't it? It feels like that. It feels like something weird. I just opened up saying Oracle boss pledges individual AI mRNA cancer vaccines. And what was his name? Larry Ellison, Oracle CEO.
Yes. I'm sorry. That freaks me out, and that freaks me out. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I'm just like, okay, there was it couldn't get worse. I want to say that
Mm-hmm.
it was hell. What we went through the last 4 years was rough. We saw the destruction of the United States as we knew it. It had been slow burning. Many people had set it up to be that way. I still think it's all a continuous thread of continuity that
Mm-hmm.
this is all part of. But it was so bad. And as I was just saying, with like inflation and taxes and stuff, it was becoming unbearable. just the thought of more of that, and those people listening to those people seemed unbearable. I'm one of those people that think Trump is hilarious. He does make me laugh. I've got to tell you, he's an entertainer. This whole thing's entertainment, and he does
Mhm.
deliver, but he's also delivered a lot of goods. So he's he's complex, and the situation is set up very much as Messiah or false Messiah. And I remember that Damien Dumar, wherever he is, was
Yeah, he disappeared, didn't he?
he did, Jerry. I've been sending him messages. He's been like persona non gratis for like 6 months, and on his own channel and everything. But he was putting out a whole bunch of information about Trump kind of being like the Antichrist. And at first I laughed, but now I'm looking at some of these moves.
Uh-huh.
Not that I'm going from a Christian perspective, but I'm saying, and
There
there's more here than we're seeing.
There's more here to dig. I presented it one time to Emily and she flipped out. I was like, "Hey, it's just a theory. It's just a discussion." But this vaccine, like that Trump is pushing, it's an mRNA vaccine can produce robotically in about 48 hours. Allison remarks came as President Donald Trump hosted him and OpenAI Sam Altman, as well as CEO Masayoshi, son of the Japanese investment firm SoftBank. The White House on Tuesday announced the launch of Stargate, interesting name, a new initiative set to invest up to $500 billion in an artificial intelligence infrastructure. There it is. There's the structure of enslavement. This is like crazy. Alice,
People should be terrified of that. It is very scary. And the thing that's happening too, because we're under a state of emergency, and the thing that's happening now, especially with the thing that so many people wanted control over, which is the border, is this new organization that's doing the border. They've got carte blanche now. They can, if they suspect someone's in your house, they can kick it in and come in and look. Like, it's kind of scary Stasi stuff. And yes, we all want to cinch up the border, and they made it so completely obvious. But now it's like when they did the Homeland Security thing. It's in the name of our safety, in the name of all this fuckery that's happened. Now we've got something possibly worse.
there's also a theory that they could use this whole extraditing people to get it and everything to impose a digital ID.
Well, right.
I don't know
That's
how
what I'm
accurate that is.
saying.
That's a theory.
And this is why I'm saying there's a dark underbelly to this. So it's like we're getting all this stuff we want. A lot of us want, and I'm like I said, I want to hear a lot of what's being said, but then now that I'm kind of mulling through the paperwork and looking at what's what, I'm like, oh my God. So what does this really mean? What does this really mean? In the name of, we begged
Mm-hmm.
for it. And it goes, I guess it bears repeating that something in me all along has thought that the obvious steal of the election from Biden stole the election, the last one.
Mm-hmm.
It was in our faces, ridiculous, completely over the top, the images, all the affidavits, all the videos, all the tests. I mean, it was so obvious. And then this witch hunt on Trump. And I'm like, is this all part of the bigger play? Because, of course, the whole 9/11, 45, 47, etc. But is this part of the Hegelian thing to make it so bad that here comes Big Daddy?
Yes, you're thinking in that really big picture where they plot the whole narrative out for multiple administrations.
Yeah, and that's where I've always been. I'm like, is this all part of that? Because to me, it's all the same. They're all the same in some way, but it's a matter of who do you like better. But somebody is going to come in and save the day by appearance, but not really save the day, push the agenda that is there further by giving us what we think is our autonomy, but we end up with really the Stasi that can come in at any time into our houses if they suspect we're housing an illegal or a modern terrorist, and also get us all tied into the digital platform with the new money, with the new IDs, because you have to prove you're a citizen, right? All that stuff that we have been going, my God, what is going on? So in the name of good, bad is potentially unfolding now. And I hate to use the good bad, but bad to me is like control, overlord control stuff.
Well, here's what I find interesting. A lot of I think people think that Trump is pulling strings. He's an entertainment. He can rile people up, yes, but I don't think he's actually pulling the strings that we think he is. Like everyone says, oh, it's 4D chess, it's 5D chess, and I'm
I
like,
agree.
yeah, but I don't think Trump's pulling the 4D, 5D chess. I think there's a script. I think Trudeau's part of that script. He's out. That's part of the script, and they're going to bring an even crazier SOB in the Liberal Party. They're already doing it. They're trying to, anyways. Like there's a script that they keep writing. No, not Jagmeet. No, it's this guy. Oh, I can't remember. Mark something. He was head of the Bank of Canada. He's WEF, and if you think Trudeau was a WEF puppet, this guy is WEF. He is psycho. There's something like I was like, God, I hope they don't vote. I hope Canadians don't vote for that. But like, I think there's like this script that we're just not aware of because they've been planning this all along for decades. They meet all the time to plan this stuff. They give us a little flimsy narrative, and everyone's going, oh, what's his name of the WEF bug eating guy? He's all upset because Trump's in. I'm like, no, he's not. No, he's not. He's just playing. He's acting. He's not upset because Trump's going to roll out stuff. If Kamala had won, she would roll out stuff, but they would just package, it's the same pile of shit. They just package it with diversity stuff, and Trump's going to package it with freedom cities and, patriotism. And they're going to say that's what it is. And underneath, like you said, there's all this other stuff that goes in with it. And
our biggest clue to all this, and I think it always bears repeating, is that, okay, so presto, he's the man of peace, but presto, the war here, the war there, everyone's bowing and it's going to get peaceful and all this. But all this hatred amongst the countries and this villain against hero and us against them stuff that's been playing out. And yet I think we need to always remember that they come together in Antarctica, they come together in whatever the hell they sell us space is, and they come together to create a world lockdown. So they come together in unison and they're all on board and hunky-dory, except for all these little dramas that we get distracted by. What is going, I mean, we need to look at that seriously. And also, they continue to push stuff we know is bullshit. Stop with this fake space shit and stop with some of the stuff that's just so thin and flimsy now. There is no, they're not showing us solid evidence for, we need a reality baseline here, and we're not getting it.
Yeah, and it's crazy. There's a lot of pushback about the mRNA cancer vaccines. There's MAGA people who are like,